Russell Brand, the legendary womanizer, very, very mediocre comedian, that too stand up. Nobody stood up for him. Ex Katy Perry husband, podcasting superstar right now, the guru of all the things under the universe, and conspiracy theorist against the big corporation, knows everything. But right now, he's in deep shit. He's been accused of rape and sexual abuse by 5 women so far. Big money book deal has been shelved. 6 million subscribers he has on YouTube, but he's been demonetized. Multi-million dollar contracts have been rescinded, cancelled completely. Brand's reputation has hit the rock bottom. He's fucked for life, even if he's acquitted of all the charges. That's what we know as men. Once you've been charged, once you've been accused, you're done for. Media and public has hung him for dry, has declared him guilty without trial, as happens all the time because women never lie and men are scumbags. I mean, I do not know if Brand is a sexual predator or not, but I would like everyone not to get their knickers in a twist, not to get their panties in a bunch just yet, and then let the truth reveal itself. We don't know it will reveal itself or not, but right now there's no proof against him. So let's hold our breath, ask the right question. The first right question I want to ask Mona Lisa, you're on the panel, you're a woman, you're young, you can relate to these people's predicament. All these women who have never really come out, their faces are still hidden, their names are still hidden. The only person who has been revealed to the public is Russell Brand. What do you think? Is this the right way to do this, or this could have been better? What is your first take on this thing as a young who is in her 20s?
Coming to this point of view कि this could have been taken better, I agree to this क्योंकि यहाँ पे ये है कि सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मीडिया ट्रायल मीडिया मसाला मीडिया को जो है वो लोगों को बस इंगेज करना है, पैसे कमाना है, तो वो कुछ भी डाल देती है। स्पेशली यहाँ पे जब इतना बड़ा व्यक्ति हो जो कि ऑलरेडी इतना ज्यादा फेमस हो, तो उनके लिए तो एक तरीके से नोट छापने की मशीन हो गई। लेकिन इस चक्कर में उस व्यक्ति का जो नुकसान होता है, उसका जो करेक्टर वो लॉस हुआ, उसकी भरपाई कौन करेगा? तो यहाँ पे जो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है वो कुछ गलत हुआ है तो आपको कोर्ट में जाना चाहिए, वहां पे सारी चीजें सीक्वेंस वाइज चलेगी। तो पहला पॉइंट मीडिया ट्रायल। दूसरा पॉइंट ये है कि ठीक है, अगर हो सकता है कि वो महिलाएं जो बोल रही हो ऐसा हुआ हो सकता है कि वैसा नहीं हुआ, बिकॉज राइट नाउ वी नो नथिंग, वी जस्ट कैन नॉट से इट इज लाइक व्हाइट और ब्लैक, थिंग्स आर ग्रे, राइट? तो यहाँ पे अगर हुआ है तो आप कोर्ट में जाओ, लेकिन यहाँ पे सीधा आ जाना कैमरे के सामने, मीडिया के सामने, वो बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है। इससे सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम होती है वो ये होती है कि असल में ऐसे केसेस होते हैं, तो वी डू नॉट बिलीव ऑन दीस केसेस कारण में जिस उन महिलाओं का काफ़ी नुकसान होता है जो इन चीज़ों को फेस करती है। तो पहला मीडिया ट्रायल, दूसरा ये कि ओरिजिनल केसेस से भी लोगों का विश्वास उठ जाता है, और तीसरा ये कि जब आप किसी के साथ रिलेशनशिप होते हो, सो यू आर इन दिस कंसेंसुअल रिलेशनशिप। आगे जाके अगर आपके साथ उसका मनमुटाव होता है, को लगता है कि हाँ, कुछ के लिए मैं उसको फँसा सकती हूँ या कुछ भी चीज़ें, और आप उस पे रेप का एलिगेशन लगाते हैं, तो कहीं न कहीं ये उस रिलेशनशिप क्वांटिटी को भी खराब करता है, और इसका काफ़ी ज़्यादा जो नुकसान है वो मेन को झेलना पड़ता है। 3 पॉइंट बोलना चाहूँगी।
All right, so let's take it to the male species who have been condemned, particularly over the last 10 years, as the worst thing that has happened to everyone, which is also fairly paradoxical and hypocritical because all these woke people, all the liberal, I thought I was liberal, Become you always thought you're liberal, but right now we just scumbags. But we thought if something we don't decide, if somebody's gay because they didn't decide to be gay, so we cannot be condemned. So if they're saying men are born like this, then how are we condemned for something like this in the first place? But that's for another day, right? Right now you're a father to a girl child. Uh, and what do you think? Where do you think the world is going? Even but particularly with Russell Brand's situation, because every month, this is the second one, right? Danny Matheson was the first one. This is the second one, right? Danny Matheson, the guy who's star of the 70s show, right? He's been in jail. This is the second one. Where are we headed? What are your first thoughts on this one? Because at the end, we look for justice. There's not going to be any justice. Nobody will ever bloody know because it's been so long. One of the accusers 18 years ago, and the most recent is still more than 10 years ago. So where do we go from here? And what are your first thoughts?
My first thoughts are get contracts for everything you are doing. Just get contract signed by all of your partners, all of your girlfriends, everything, because this can happen. This can happen anytime in your life, and especially when you become famous. And I know you will also have this problem, Gaurav, later on. I hope you have it, so that I can you get cancelled, and I run the or run this alone and make all the money. So yeah, I think it's just the world we live in, right? We are always consumed on our phones. We need
Hmm.
content, like if we need content, unlimited content for our phones. So anything which happens in the world has to be hyped to 100, hyped to 1000, or whatever is the number, and it has to be there has to be opinions. The problem, so the thing is, and I've seen it in YouTube also, that if you're just talking normally and just talking nicely, people will not listen to you. If you say ye banda kamina hai, ye banda ye he has a big problem. So when you talk like this, then only you get attention in this crazy world where you're bombarded with information. So you have to hype everything up for people to notice, and this is what is happening, like and right now we know that the mainstream media is left leaning, or is woke. So obviously the narrative will be set by them. If it was 20 years back or 30 years back, the maybe the roles would have reversed. वो बोलते नहीं, वो तो झूठ बोल रही है, and so this bias will always be there, and coupled with the world we live in right now, I think yeah, we'll can't do anything. We can't escape from it. Just lawyer up, just get everything you know written down.
See, the world is not fair and the world will never be fair. Okay. But the least we can do is show some dignity for everybody. The dignity should not always be for somebody who has been marginalized because she has not been marginalized. Women in general might have been marginalized. Let's just say, forget about might. Women have been marginalized. Okay. But this woman has not been marginalized. She was dating Russell Brand, who was already famous by that time. Okay. So the question still remains that when these people come out as accusation, they accuse Russell Brand of all these things. One thing nobody wants to talk about is his reputation is screwed because of his gender. By the way, women always compare because of their gender something happens. Because of his gender, he's screwed. Can you like think of any situation? I mean, this would be the most rarest of rare situation where a man comes out and accuses a woman of rape, and then woman's reputation is ruined. People mostly laugh it off. People probably call him a cuckold. People call him a pussy.
Correct.
Bad things. Imagine going to a walking to a police station in India and saying that a woman raped you. Guess
They
what will
will
happen
laugh
to
at
you?
they'll laugh
Right.
at you.
If I have been
They'll slap
raped
also.
personally, if that has happened to me, that is for another day altogether. But if it happens to me, nobody's going to listen to me. Because how can anybody rape me? Okay. How can anybody jump me? The thing is that this is the reality of life is if you're in the mood and the woman is not in the mood, and if you just feel like you tell them okay, they'll do it. But if you're not in the mood and the woman in the mood, she will never be accused of the same things. So my point question to you, Manisha, right now is that now in this situation, when the women accuse somebody, when those accusations are proven to be not correct, what should be the consequences for the women who actually do this to somebody who will anyway, regardless, forget about Russell Brand, it could be me also. My life would already be screwed. And what are the consequences? Because right now nobody wants to talk about that thing. Because now it's open game for anybody. Just because I dislike your face, I'm just gonna say you're a rapist, you're a racist, any bad words. So nobody will ever hire you. Wherever you go, people will spit at you, people will throw shoes at you, people will throw ink at you, people can actually assault you under the guise that, well, he's a rapist, he'll always be a rapist, right? Unlike even Mason Greenwood, there's absolutely no proof against this guy. And that is my question, that what should happen to people who accuse people inaccurately of such a serious crime? Because whosoever is accused, which is always, almost always by definition men, their life is ruined. He's 48 years old, born a day after, he's born on June 4th. So practically Bikram is born June 6th, I'm born June 3rd, he's June 4th, he's June. So there is some. love for him for us from us indirectly because it's June baby.
I'm a December baby. I have no love for anyone. So talking about what you said कि इन औरतों का क्या होना चाहिए जिन्होंने एलिगेशन लगाया, तो ये debate भी उठता है बार, लेकिन यहाँ पे मेजर पॉइंट वही आता है जो मैंने इनिशियली भी पॉइंट आउट किया था कि काफी सारे केसेस हैं कि असल में होते हैं, उनके साथ वाकई सारी चीजें होती हैं और उनके साथ होता है तो वो नहीं कहते बिकॉज ऑफ द सोसाइटी सिचुएशन या उनका अपना उस समय जो सिचुएशन होता है चाहे फाइनेंशियली इमोशनली हो, लेकिन आगे शायद 10-20 साल बाद जब लगता है कि हाँ राइट नाउ आई एम एबल इनफ, मैं बोल सकती हूँ, तो वो आगे आके बोलती हैं। तो इसमें अगर कुछ ऐसा हो जैसे कि लोग बोलते हैं कि वुमेन फेक एलिगेशन करती है तो आप कानून ला दो ताकि उनको जेल में डालो, जैसा करते हैं सब बोलती हैं तो। लेकिन यहाँ पे मतलब ये आता है कि अगर उनमें से एक केस भी है जो कि सही यहाँ पे वाक़ई उसके साथ गलत हुआ है और उसने ये एलिगेशन लगाया है एक बहुत ही पावरफुल इंसान, बहुत ही पावरफुल पुरुष के विरुद्ध, तो यहाँ पर बहुत चांसेस है कि वो हारेगी, वो लाइक शी विल एंड अप इन जेल। तो इसलिए वी कांट इमोशंस एक कानून ला और जो महिलाएं ऐसा एलिगेशन कर दी है जेल में डालो। बट रोकने की ज़रूरत है क्योंकि कहीं न कहीं ये मोरल जिसकी शुरुआत में बात की थी, उसको भी करता है। कि अगर कहीं न कहीं महिला इसका समर्थन कर रही है कि हाँ, मतलब वो लोग जो अगर इसमें फीमेल भी हो, मेल भी हो कि हाँ, महिलाएँ जो है उनके मतलब जो भी है दे कैन नॉट से एवर रॉन्ग, दे कैन नॉट बी लाइक दे कैन नॉट लाइ, अगर उनके साथ ऐसा हुआ है तो होगा और उस अगेंस्ट सारे केसेस होंगे। लेकिन जो ऐसा बोलते हैं एक्चुअली टू आस्क देम कि उस सिचुएशन में आप एक महिला है तो उस सिचुएशन में आप अपने हस्बैंड, आप अपने भाई, आप अपने बेटे को रख कर देखो, और अगर आप पुरुष हैं तो उस सिचुएशन में खुद को रख कर देखो या अपने किसी क्लोज वन को रख के देखो कि आपको पता है कि वो इनोसेंट है लेकिन फिर भी वो उसको फेस करेगा क्योंकि कुछ ऐसा मलिशियस चीज़ चल रहा है, वो आपको डिग्रेड करना ही चाहते हैं। तो या फिर जो पहला पॉइंट है कि जेल में डाल या ऐसा केस, उसपे मैं एग्री नहीं करती हूँ, बट हाँ, ऐसा कुछ होना चाहिए कैन बी द फाइन थिंग कि अगर आप बोलते हो तो आप ऐसा होगा, ऐसा हो सकता है। लेकिन यहाँ पे जैसे मैंने कहा जो सबसे मेजर इश्यू है वो है मीडिया ट्रायल, और वो जैसे आपने भी कहा कि जो पुरुष है उसका पूरा आइडेंटिटी जो है वो बता दिया जाता है, वो ये है, लेकिन जो महिला है उसके बारे में कोई नहीं जानता। मेरा ये मानना है कि महिला यानी जो आरोप लगा रही है और जो आरोपी है, दोनों की आइडेंटिटी को नहीं किया जाना चाहिए, उसको नहीं बताया जाना चाहिए कि कहीं न कहीं उनकी कम से कम डिग्री तो सेफ रहे, क्योंकि जैसे आपने शुरू में ही कहा कि आई डोंट नो अबाउट रसेल ब्रांड, बट आई नो मेनी केसेस हैपन इन इंडिया, चाहे वो आर भारत में वो अर्नब गोस्वामी केस हो जिसमें जिसमें जो लेडी है वो कैमरे एक लड़के पे एलिगेशन लगा देती है कि इसने मेरे को कुछ, हालाँकि वो उसकी जेंडर फाइट थी जो कि अम, र जो कि स्ट्रीट पर हुई थी ट्रैफिक में, और उसमें अर्नब गोस्वामी ने मेन जो स्ट्रीम मीडिया है उसने टैग किया था कि दिल्ली का दरिंदा, और ये केस बहुत लंबे तक चला था। बाद में वो जो है मतलब केस चलने के बाद इट वाज़ कि इसने कुछ नहीं किया बट उसको टैग तो लग गया ना और उसका सारा करियर बर्बाद। तो ये जो मीडिया ट्रायल है सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम यही है। तो इसका जाना चाहिए, दूसरा कि कोर्ट में जाना चाहिए और कोर्ट डिसाइड करेगी अपनी इंक्वायरी के थ्रू कि ऐसा हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है।
You are on mute. You are on mute.
So the question to you, Bikram, is on this right now is that if all the women who are accusing, their faces are hidden, shouldn't the man's face should also be hidden? Because right now we know, trial by media, once his face is out there, he's already guilty, before, unless proven innocent. And even if he's proven innocent, he's still guilty in the eyes of most people because all they'll say on technicality, it could not have been proven. Particularly in Russell's situation, right? Russell Brand's situation, this will never be proven, right? There's no way they can prove this thing because it will be his word against hers. So much time has passed. There's no physical evidence. Practically, it will never be proven, which will mean by default he'll win all the cases. But which will also mean that people will say, you know what? on technicality, you won. You must have molested these women. Anyway, haters will hate. People dislike him. His contract will still remain cancelled. He'll come back after a while. He's already 48. He'll probably just say, fuck it. I don't want this. I just want a simpler life. He'll go. Anyway, he was living in the woods, right? He was shooting his
Yeah.
podcast in the woods, but he has sons, he has daughters, he has his wife. Every day could be miserable. Tomorrow he can actually, take his life. I mean, at the end of the day, nothing really matters because everything is just very ephemeral, fickle, and everything. But there's never going to be a due process. There's not going to be a learning. What is the end game from this thing? Because in an ideal world, Channel 4, whosoever these channels are, they should have gone to taken this evidence to the court. And as we know, the word sub judice, if people are not aware of this word, sub judice means that once something is in court, this thing cannot be talked about in open. By the way, once this goes to the court, all these media channels cannot talk about it at all. Then becomes sub judice. That means it stays in the court. You cannot talk about this thing. At the end of the day, we want justice, we want fairness. Fairness cannot be only from one side. Just because one side is marginalized, you cannot just say all of them are right. Because I feel, not feel, fuck feel. Because feelings are not important. Because truth always trumps feelings. Okay. Right now, nobody knows the truth. We'll probably never find out the truth, but this should go to trial. This should not be going to the media. The laundry should not be washed because the only person who's suffering from this thing is Russell Brand. If he's guilty, he should bloody go to jail. Whatever the right thing is supposed to be done should be happening to him. But right now, what is the end game? What are we looking at? Because at the end of the day, we just know he's going to be acquitted, right? Right now, all the arrows are pointing in that direction, but he's never going to be able to come back. Suddenly, within 24 hours, his entire life has changed. Why the fuck were we waiting for 18 years? Why these women are not coming out in open? Where's the evidence? What will happen? What is the end game in this situation?
No, I think Mona Lisa's point was very, very much valid, and I actually didn't think about it. I was just thinking that nothing can be done. Actually, I don't see how the situation can be improved. But I actually like this idea of keeping both of them anonymous, like both the parties, and I think that's the way forward because this is a sensitive issue, right? We can laugh about it, we can talk about it, but it's a sensitive issue and it affects everyone, not just those two, the two parties, but in anyone who is coming out accusing someone either wrongly or rightly. We don't know, right? We are not, we can't. We'll talk about it, and I think we will also forget about it after 6 months or 1 year. But I think this is the correct way to go about it. That the identity should be hidden for both the because right now, as we all talking about that, it's the media trial which actually hurts everyone because he's not gonna get convicted. Conviction rates are anyway very low in all the countries, right? So he's not never gonna get convicted. There won't be any evidence or anything. So I think the best way would be to actually, but again, I think that's very idealistic for of us to think that this will happen because I didn't even know that Channel 4 came out. I know Russell Brand. I actually was not following what is happening. I just saw tweets and everything flowing around that something has happened. Then you told me about it. So it looks like someone got a scoop and they thought this will be a good subject to just discuss, and like 1 week can be spent on this whole subject, and then after that we can get to the next scoop. So I don't think this is, I think ideally this should happen, that if something like this happens, identity should be hidden, but it's never going to happen, right? This is all about the media trial, it's all about the scoop, and I think the end game is the same. What happens with everyone, the men will lose their reputation, and depending upon where they are in life, if it's someone who is unknown, who is like the guy from Delhi which Manisha was talking about. I think the lady who accused him of misbehaving, she actually flew away. She is not even in India anymore, and this guy had to actually attend all the court hearings and everything, and eventually nothing came out of it. But all those 5 years, 6 years, whatever is the time, he just his reputation got screwed. He lost his job. I think family also was ashamed and all those things. So I we can talk about it. We can give our solutions. But the end of the day, the end game is nothing will happen. It's the same story running over and over again. Same thing will happen. Today it's Russell Brand. Tomorrow someone else. Day after tomorrow it may be Gaurav. But yeah, nothing will change. I don't see anything changing. We can just talk about it. Yes, that's all.
Yeah, I don't know why this podcast is constantly becoming about me, but again, that's a reality, because that's the time this podcast we will come back to this podcast, that we were the clairvoyant, we saw it coming. Because I won't be surprised. There are a lot of things I've talked to you about also, that this can happen, and this is a reality of life, right? And there is no end game. And as you said rightly, that we can be completely idealistic that will happen, but that will never happen, because how will somebody have a scoop? If these people really wanted justice, they won't be sitting on this for 4 years. If it was their daughter, their sisters, their wives, their somebody close to them, would they be sitting on this for 4 years, waiting it for the making it perfect, so the
And
perfect scoop can
yeah,
come out, or they would go to the police?
and making a nice documentary about it, like doing it, imagine this story coming in. And I mean, you have worked in some NGO, and you know how they sell the miserable condition of
Oh, you
their
mean not NGO, but the fundraising company? I can
fundraising
name it on the
company.
podcast, Impact Guru. Yeah,
Yeah, so Impact Guru. So I mean,
yeah.
this is what we are. This is how what we are doing right now. We sell, people who are miserable. Like we sell their pain. We sell their.
No, I think
Uh,
their logo, Impact Guru, and I can openly talk about it. They can sue the fuck out of me. Their logo right now is, their catchphrase is saving lives. Their catchphrase should be making money out of people's misery,
Correct.
right? Because they're making money out of it. God knows what the fuck is going on, but they're saying saving lives. I'm really sure they're not saving lives, but that's for another day, obviously. But Russell Brand eventually will not get justice. I don't think none of these people will get justice. They waited for such a long time. Another controversial opinion of mine, which, I mean, we don't have time for this thing, neither we want to talk about it. My controversial opinion is, if something bad happens to me and I don't tell about it, I'm co-conspirator, because I'm letting it happen to other people. You know why people do bad things? Because they can get away with it. The one day they realize they can't get away with it, they stop, because they have to stop. They don't have a goddamn choice. But every time, because it's difficult, it's goddamn difficult. It's like the same movie that every time I quote, that Al Pacino won the Oscar, because he said in that movie, in Scent of a Woman, in the final dialogue, that, every single time I knew what the right thing to do was, but I never fucking did it. You know why? Because it was goddamn difficult. And that's the same reason here. Just because it's difficult, just because people are going to shit all over you, just because people are going to cry foul, this is not an excuse for you not to come out immediately, and come out after 18 fucking years, which will only thing what we'll do is make a bunch of people, we're not going to make any money. Piers Morgan, all these people make so much money out
Right.
of this thing.
Right.
Shit all over Russell Brand. I was
Even
saying
Russell
Russell
Peters
Peters.
got cancelled, right? Russell Peters, didn't he
He got
also get
cancelled as well.
cancelled?
I have no
Yeah.
idea. Every fucking day somebody's getting cancelled. When he says it'll take 6 months to forget about this thing, I think we'll be forgetting in 6 days. Depending who's the next one is. Danny Masterson is now very happy. He's like, thank God people are not talking about me, because I was the big star. By the way, this is the second big scoop in September. I mean, that I know of, obviously, because we're not even taking care of it. Like, God knows how many fucking people are coming out. Okay. I mean, he's not a big star like Bill Cosby or something, right? But then he's right up there. He's right up there. Russell Brand from England, the big guy who married Katy Perry, guy who's like got massive following on YouTube. He's been everywhere. By the way, he's the one who has been, put on the pedestal by all the channels,
Right.
particularly by BBC. He's been on Joe Rogan. He's been on fucking Talksport. He's everywhere. He's the big guy who knows everything. Every day he's put out podcasts, right? God knows. And he still wants money from people. He is so rich, but he would not showcase his all podcasts. He's like, no, you go there and pay me more money. By the way, when he came out the last podcast, when he's telling that he's been wrongly accused, that also had a donate button. I mean, for
See,
fuck's sake, what do you need this money for?
See, everyone wants. This is the word, right? Opportunity. When opportunity comes, you should grab it with both hands, and even if you are, because see, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, people can talk about it, but eventually people will forget about it, and then channels who are backing out, and they will hire him after the dust settles,
Oh
because
yeah, give
they
it a couple
need.
of months,
Yeah,
2 years
because they
maximum.
still because they still need content, right? It's all about
Money.
content.
All about
And
money.
money, yeah.
Why is
That.
Greenwood been hired? Because Manchester United has been still paying his fee. He's been paid £100,000 a week. And Getafe said, it's a scoop for us. This guy's going to be like, he's ambidextrous, great genius. We don't have to pay anything for him. And we get Greenwood. It's a win-win for everybody. Greenwood wins,
Yeah,
Getafe
everyone is
wins. They're
looking
like
for.
fucking happy. When the fuck would have they thought we'll get Mason Greenwood? That's how it is. We want all the people to be sexual predators. We'll take them. We'll pay for Mohan Bagan for all that matter. So right now, I just want one quick final word from Manisha. If you have something else to say, one final word and then one final word from you, Bikram. But let's put it on the horse's mouth, which is the women, because I do understand most likely he did it. Most likely somebody was offended. But all I'm saying is it's not about feelings. It's about really something bad happening to people because not everything is the same. He must have done something wrong because over a long period, people will make mistakes. But right now, is this anyway? I'm not going to ask you what is fair. I'm just going to ask you whatever your final thoughts, whatever the final word you want to say in this podcast. We've been speaking for 20 minutes, something. Just tell me one final word quickly, and then we'll wrap this. After Bikram, I'll also let you speak.
अभी मेरी जो डिस्कशन हुई उससे अगर खाली एक सेंटेंस में पूरा इसको समराइज करें तो होगा आपदा में अवसर, मीडिया अवसर और जो हमारे रसल साहब है उनके लिए आपदा है, लेकिन जैसे आपने बताया कि कैसे उन्होंने इसमें भी अपना अवसर ढूंढे निकाला। मीडिया को प्रॉफिट हो रहा है, कहीं ना कहीं रसल भी इसको सेल कर ही रहे हैं, कहीं ना कहीं जो औरतें हैं ऑब्वियसली अगर फेक क्रिएशन है तो उनको पैसे मिले होंगे, अगर फेक नहीं है तो उनको होगा कि हाँ मुझे थोड़ा जस्टिस मिलेगा। तो सबको कुछ ना कुछ है, लेकिन हाँ सबको पता है कि होना तो कुछ नहीं, बिकॉज कन्विक्शन रेट काफी ज्यादा कम है, तो इसमें बस हुआ एक ही है और वो है करप्शन और मनी मेकिंग।
I just want to share a meme over this situation.
ये भैंचो सारे मिलके हमको पागल बना रहे
So ये हो रहा है हमारे साथ.
क्या लिखा हुआ है? ये सब मिलके पागल बना रहे हैं.
But this is what is happening. Like everyone is making money. We are just trying to make money. But everyone is trying.
It's just media, right? It's just content. Content, money, at the end of the day, still the end game is money. Whosoever's ass gets burnt doesn't matter. Whether it's Russell
Correct.
or somebody else, we'll always get somebody else. Right? In fact, if there's no allegation, we'll find people to put allegations because what the fuck, man? And then allegation. See, I'm telling you, this Channel 4, right? If they got 50 fucking women, allegation against people who nobody knew, they're like, fuck off. And suddenly a Russell brand. They don't care about verifying. They're like, you're on, bitch. You're on. You're on. Tell us more. And they're like, well, you're not telling us more. Tell us more. He's like, but that nothing else happened. He's like, no. Think about it. Think about it. He must have touched you inappropriately. He must have been with your daughter. Must have been some. I don't have a daughter. Create a daughter. Fucking hell, man. Create his whole character assassination. Cry in the video. Say something dramatically. We will not reveal your name. We'll give you money. And by the way, their names will eventually revealed once they realize that they cannot be sued, and then they'll make more money continuously. It's like becomes like a movie, right? Every time, like the woman who accused David Beckham, right? Like accused is like she said I was having sex with him once he was already married. She made just one interview. She was making £500,000. She made millions and millions from this. Monica Lewinsky, that one White House blowjob, and she made millions out of that, right? So this is a big money making because at the end, whatever people say, maybe in the movies right now, it's not a big deal, but sex sells, right? Sex sells, scandal sells, and if both are sex and scandal involved, somebody who's famous, then that's like a nuclear bomb, right? That's why we make movies like Oppenheimer, because people care about it.
Right.
Right, people care about it. Even right now, he's dead, but people are still making money on him. He ruined Nagasaki and Hiroshima, but people are still making money out of it. Christopher Nolan is still going to be like big director. Somebody might even win a. Cillian Murphy might or might not win because there's another movie by Martin Scorsese, which is about the Indians. So that will make most likely take the Oscar for that. But we're always making money. We're always peeing over somebody else's grave and smiling all the way to the bank or the ATM, whatever the fuck it is. So this was us. This is me, Gav. This was Mona Lisa. This is Bikram. At the end, we don't know what the end game is. Most of it was useless because but we just wanted to talk about it today. We were tired, but we said let's talk about it. Let's just put it out our system because we're going to talk about it. Might as well record it, put it out there. You tell us what is your opinion. If you believe there is an end game, something good will come out of it. Most likely not. But by the time we forget about it, they'll not let us forget about it. Something else will come out. Who is next? Is it Russell Peters? Or he's already gone through the ringer? We don't know. Is it me? If it's Bikram, that will be the greatest surprise of my life. But what the most funniest part will be if it's Mona Lisa. That's the one we're looking for. That will be the one which will create the most mileage. Because guess who? The new sexual predator is a woman. But then she'll say, I'm not a woman, I'm a man. And move to Canada. All right, on that note, this is
And
me,
most
Gav,
important
this is
thing,
Bikram.
lawyer up.
Oh, yeah.
Like put everything in
Lawyer up.
writing. Lawyer up.
My
Yes.
ass is lawyered up. I don't have any money to be lawyered up. I need some really, really fucking poor lawyer who's also gone through sexual allegations. My lawyer will also be embroiled into sexual allegations. That's how bad the world is because we are men and we are scumbags. Good night. Good luck, Ruslan. Good luck, all the accusers. Let the truth prevail. It won't, but let's hope for the best because hope is what kills.